Okay, Britt, this is how I do crews, and it was going to take me way too much time to write this stuff out, and it's kind of haphazard the way that I do it. I showed a little bit on a previous crew video, but let me give you the basic rundown. The basic rundown is when I get a vehicle, I assign it to this first crew slot. This is my primary crew slot, and every vehicle that I have, unless I got them a long time ago, gets assigned to this crew slot. You can see me scrolling down through here and see how many vehicles that I have assigned to this crew. And the way that this works for me is, let's say I am going to do a video on the M36 Jackson over here. The way I would do is, okay, I'm going to do this video, I'm going to choose the crew, I'm going to assign it to crew slot number 1. The M36 has a battle rating of 6.3. These other two slots I will fill with vehicles that have the same or lower battle rating. That way I'm never up-tiered by a vehicle that I'm not intending to focus on, or the one that I want to play the most. So I would go through and go, that's a 5.7, that's a that one I won't use. This one I could use. 6.3 here on the Bulldog. I could put it here. What else do I have? Got nothing else that's close to a 6.3 right there. So I could stick any of the other ones in this third slot. But I just make sure that nothing has a higher battle rating than the vehicle that I want to focus on for my video, or in general that I just want to play for the day. That's how I pick the vehicles for my particular games. Now, as far as crew skills, when I start my games, I know, or at least I hope, I'm going to get most of my gameplay off of crew slot number 1. That means it's going to be getting the most experience, and the vehicle that I'm focusing on will have my absolute best crew in it. And then if it gets taken out, if I have a backup vehicle, I might use that, or I drop off to one of the other vehicles and they get a little bit of experience through the remainder of the game. So let's take a look at the crew. You can see driver is almost completely maxed out except for repair. Gunner, same thing. I'm still working on repair. Tank commander, same thing except machine gunnery. I wasn't really worried about it. These four is what I've been working on with this crew, and all of my number 1 crews look very similar to this, and I really don't worry about radio operator. And I always make sure that I train like to the basic level. See here, the M2A2, I need to upgrade its qualification to expert. So I train them to expert. And the reason why you want to do that is because you get these plus 30, right? 2 spots for the driver, 3 spots for the gunner, 3 spots for the commander, and 2 spots for the loader and the radio operator. You really don't need to worry about that unless you're like in simulator battles and stuff. But yeah, that's what most of my crews, my number 1 crews, look like. Let's hop over to the Germans. Number 1, oh, still working him out a little bit. right? But they are all getting really close to being maxed out. Let's look at the Russians, #1 crew, 45. So I'm working on him, almost completely maxed out. Like I said, I hadn't bothered much with machine gunnery. And those are all, this is the pilot for my Japanese crew, right? So that's airplane. But anyway, when I'm assigning these crews, or assigning these crew points, the things that are important, keen vision, you need to be able to see the targets. That's a little bit important, and I usually will bump it up to about, and I'll spread these out evenly, right, to about 25, and field repair to about 25, and then vitality, and then I hold off on tank driving, and I start building it up later. And what I'll do is, as I'm working over these other three, if there's a time where I've spent the crew and I have just a few points left, I'm like, oh, I have enough for tank driving, I'll throw one in there on tank driving. For the gunner, he needs to be able to see, he needs to be able not to get knocked out, and targeting and range finding, right? All of the, I mean, every one of these is important, but I saved the field repair for last. But I spread them pretty evenly. Commander, leadership, right? I bump leadership up pretty quickly because it affects the other crew members. Keen vision up to about 50%, and then I focus on vitality, leadership, and field repair, and then I usually bring the keen vision up. And like I say, when I'm focused on these others, if I have some left over, then I may throw it on there. But I'm saving, like I got 200 points here, I'm saving that instead of throwing it down here because I want to max out this field repair option. Tank loader, right? Weapon reloading is very important because the faster you can get rounds down range, the more damage you can do, and the more crew points you will get, which will allow you to put more crew points into your crew. So you can see I'm almost got this guy maxed out. So yeah, keen vision, not so much. It was the last one of these that I filled out. Weapon reloading, vitality. These go, the loader one goes basically from bottom to top. This is important, then this, then the keen vision, in my opinion. Don't worry about the radio operator. But once I got everything to 50%, then I started really focusing on their individual stuff. Like the driver, I didn't want him to get knocked out, so I went ahead and focused. Once I got these to 50, I made sure he wouldn't get knocked out. I focused on getting him to 100. The gunner, once I got everything to 50, I focused on him not getting knocked out. And then I started focusing on targeting and range finding. The commander, he got pretty much evenly spaced through here because he's the one looking for targets most of the time, and so he got pretty much built up evenly. Loader, I didn't want him to get knocked out, and weapon reloading, those were my key focus, and these were my two secondary focuses. So yeah, that's how I do my crew skills. I hope that helped you out, and thanks for watching, thanks for being a subscriber, and glad you're enjoying the channel. Nerd out.